smelling right, luscious lips, dancing as you walk away.
Hey, what's going on? It's the Big D, Divorce News Daily segment of our Big D channel. Thank you for coming and checking us out. We're almost at our 10,000 view goal. A lot of that is coming from the shorts, but I need you guys to check out the long form videos too, because the long form video is where it's at. This is where we get the real meat of what's going on with the Big D channel. So make sure you check out the channel. Make sure you check out the videos. Like and subscribe if you can, and we're going to keep this thing rolling for 2025. But let's jump right in here and see what we got here. We got somebody gave her husband a gift on Christmas, and I'm feeling some type of way about it. So let's read this here. It says, this is coming from Alert Brick 2273. It says, it's just business now. My 44. Okay, so he's a 44-year-old mo. Sometimes they write these things, it's like, wait a minute, you get into it and be like, hold up. Okay, so he's a 44-year-old male. He says, my wife, a 45-year-old female, asked for a divorce the day after Christmas. In our many conversations since, she said she's been thinking and planning this for 2 years, but didn't have the courage until now. So I guess he's supposed to be happy, that this Christmas gift that he's getting is divorce, I guess. Well, at least she didn't do a Christmas morning or something. So we're going to see what's going on here. A marriage of 20 years with 3 kids will always have ups and downs, but we both sucked at communicating our feelings. Now, we've talked about that before, right? Communication. We have a video on that. What came to me this morning was that this is now a business transaction for us. We're looking at finances and a place for her to rent. She bought a new bikini, has lost some weight, and is now working out every day. Yeah, she's trying to get back in the field. She's checked out and ready to roll. We are united in the fact that we are putting the kids first. This is a good thing. Thank God they're older, with one being 19, one turning 18 this summer, and one turning 13 soon. I've been writing her letters each morning and putting them in her work bag. She never said anything about them, so I asked her last night. I said, you're getting those letters in with, right? I don't know what he meant there, but maybe he's saying, did she get the letters? She said yes, and stopped writing them. It's not going to change anything, and it doesn't make me feel anything. That definitely hurts, so it's business now. Gotta let her go. All right, so let's dive into this right here. So as I touched on already, this was done the day after Christmas. It says that she has been thinking about doing this for 2 years, and now all of a sudden she finally has the courage to do it. So after 20 years of marriage, this is a tough pill to swallow. But sometimes we get complacent and think that it can't end, or we've been in it so long that it can't possibly come to an end. But we know that's not true, right? I kind of was in it for 15 years and it came to an end. This guy's in it 20 years and it came to an end. But what do you guys think, though? Do you think that, I always feel like there should be like a moratorium. There should be like maybe not moratorium's the word I'm looking for, but there should be like an end to the contract at some point. Maybe at the 7-year point, maybe at like the 10-year point. Maybe you get up around 13, 14 years or whatever. Every maybe 36 months or so, maybe you should be able to review that contract. Most contracts kind of work that way. They kind of have an expiration date, and you go in, you review if this is good for each party. Each party can put forth what they need or what they want, and then they can actually negotiate. And if the negotiation fails, you both can move on. I've always felt like that probably would have been a smarter thing to do when setting up this marriage arrangement, especially the legal side of it. May not work maybe when the kids are younger, stuff like that, but those things would have to be taken in consideration, of course, by both parties. But in the end, we're getting divorced anyway with kids. He's got 3 kids. He's got one, I think he said 19, 18, and 13, right? Or soon to be 13. So it's happening anyway with the kids. So we might want to look at, we might as a society want to look at how long is this contract really supposed to last. Now I know of course there's the religious side of it where it's like, oh, this is supposed to last forever and you take these vows that you're going to last forever, but we have to come to grips with the fact that nobody is looking at those vows like it's an actual vow. All of this is until some kind of problem does us part. It ain't till death do us part. It's like until I get tired, does us part. At this point in time. So yeah, that's just a question that maybe we can all discuss and maybe have some discussion about. But I've always kind of felt like maybe there should be an end point for this contract. And if we both want to sign a contract again for another 3 years or 6 years or whatever it is or whatever, we sign a contract again and we keep going, but we honor the contract until the end. That's just my crazy way of thinking. So let me know what you think. But anyway, he says that she bought a new bikini. She lost some weight. Okay, so she's working on herself, right? And she's working out every day. So I can almost guarantee you that there is somebody out there that he is not aware of, or somebody she's trying to impress, somebody she's met at some place where she feels she's not good enough for this dude. The way that she's packaged now, she's not good enough for whoever this is that she's trying to attract. So she's got a bikini now, which I'm sure probably this dude hasn't seen probably in a long time. She's working out, she's going to the gym, getting herself better. When she had a husband, that probably would have appreciated her getting better for him, physically or whatever. Maybe that might have been an issue in the relationship too. She's losing weight. He probably would have appreciated that. So, sometimes we get caught up in the fact that we don't like this person or we're not interested in this person. And the person that we have next to us that's been fighting for us, that's been working for us, that's maybe been providing for us, that's maybe, been our emotional, our emotional blanket. This person has been there for us. They've been through the battles and the wars, and we kind of look down on that person and we think somebody else can do better. But now you're going to go out there and try to find somebody who's better. And you're basically just starting from the bottom again, because now it's a crapshoot. Is this person really going to be better, or this person even going to stick around long enough for you to find out if they're better? You don't know that. So I'm not saying that you should just stick with a sure thing all the time, but I think you got to place some honor on that sure thing that's been there the whole time. There's somebody that was willing to be with you and to take care of you and to be around you, and maybe they wasn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. Maybe they made mistakes along the way. Like he said, sometimes it's rocky. In 20 years, sometimes it's rocky. And things ain't going to always go right. You ain't always going to see eye to eye. But this person is still there with you at the same time. But, after 20 years, I guess she figured that she's going to try her hand in these waters out here. And I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't sweet out here. You might think that you can jump out here in these waters and swim with these sharks that's out here now. It ain't gonna be sweet out here. So it's something else to see how she's acting now, but he's gonna have to wait probably a good 3 years before it starts to really sink in for her. And then right around the 5 year mark, it's probably gonna really sink in. So let's say they've been married 20 years, right? She was 20 when they got married. Let's give it a round number or whatever. So that would make her about 40 today, right? So who's really looking for 40-year-old women to date and all that stuff, right? There could be a few guys out there, depending on how, what's going on with her or whatever and his attraction for her or whatever. There might be somebody out there, but who's really looking for a married 40-year-old woman with 3 teenage kids? I hope that is somebody with some money, a guy who's maybe well-to-do or something, maybe somebody she met at her job or somebody that she happened to run into and he's well-to-do and he can take care of her and all that kind of stuff. Because other than that, what's she going to go get? Like a, 25-year-old dude or whatever that's whispering sweet nothings in her ear and really he's just trying to knock it down? Like, or even up to 30, 35 or whatever. Dudes are not looking for a long-term situation with someone like that. if they can get the goods up front. They're typically not going to choose her because there's all these other people in the world, all these other women in the world that are already fit. They're already in bikinis. You can travel all over the world. You come here and go a block over here to Copacabana Beach and find like 500 of them on a Sunday. And that's not even capping. That's probably a low number. This is the high season. It's summertime right now. Over there is nothing but women in bikinis. And you can see everything. So I mean, it's all out there for you. So why would he choose this woman? Why would he choose this woman if he's got his life going and all that stuff? He's choosing her for fun. And I think that a lot of women can't separate that because they let their emotions get involved or whatever. She's willing to do all this effort for him, and she's going to find out the dude probably is not going to put in that effort to be with her the way that she thinks. Hey, thanks for checking out The Big D Show. I am The Big D, but I also go by Knock Real Beats, as I am a man of many talents. I'm a hip-hop artist, writer, producer. I do it all. So check out the link below in the description and check out some of the music. I think you're going to like it. I'm on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, Tidal, everywhere you want to be. Bandcamp. Support independent artists. So I'm not the kind of person that's going to be like, oh, well, women lose value after this time or whatever like that. But I'm just going to say that it's like me going to the basketball court now. It doesn't matter what I did in the past or whatever. I'm not going to be like one of the first people chosen to be on the 5-on-5. I'm going to be one of the last people. Like, I'm only probably going to be chosen if there's nobody else to fill the spot, right? No matter what my skills used to be and all that kind of stuff, but now they can see like, oh, he's got the white, beard and all that stuff. He's probably not going to be the most athletic anymore. He's probably not going to be the number one pick no more. He's not as fast as he used to be. He can't jump as high as he used to jump. So we're not going to pick him because we want to win, right? So it's going to be the same thing in the dating world, right? As we get older, I'm saying even as a man, is like, I have to have certain things in order and in place to be impressive to somebody who's going to want me that, might be a little bit above my league or where, or someone that's going to make me want to go work out and get new clothes and get new cologne and all that stuff. Obviously, I'm trying to impress this person because I don't feel like I'm enough for that person. So I feel like I got to step my game up in order to be able to get with this person. I mean, I do all right though, but all I'm saying is like, sometimes you got to do that, but you got to recognize where you are. So I'm not saying like you lose value, but I'm saying that you're probably not going to be in the number one spot no more. So she, at her age, is probably not going to be in the number one spot no more. Now, it's some fine ones now. Like, trust me, like I walk down these streets every single day, and I don't know what it is about here in Brazil, but there are fine women, and you'll see somebody from the back and like the body is banging, 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 and she'll turn around and be like, oh man, she's like 65, so like how is that possible or whatever, but they keep themselves up and they take care of themselves. So I definitely don't believe that you just lose value. Just where are you mentally? Where are you emotionally? What can you bring to the table for a man at that age? What are you bringing to the table for him so to make him feel like he's going to give up his freedom to be with you? So she's got to figure that out, so that's, she's got a road cut out for her and a path cut out for her that, that is not easy. So I really wish her the best in whatever she's pursuing, but I feel like heartbreak is coming for her. I mean, I could appreciate the fact that she's getting at it. She's doing the right things by putting herself in position, but you got a lot of competition out there. There's a whole lot of competition out there. And that's one thing that he has to realize too. Like, yeah, man, it's like he says, it's only business now and he's got to let her go. You got to let her go, bro. And he's writing her the letters and stuff like that, putting it in her bag or whatever. He's trying to woo her back to him. It might be too late. Because one thing I've learned and one thing that I've, probably talked about a little bit earlier on this channel was like people like to do things that benefit themselves, right? So if there's a breakup situation and the man breaks off the relationship, a lot of times a woman can't accept that because it was not her decision, right? So, but when it is the woman's decision, it's going to be hard to get her back because she realized, like, okay, I did this for me. This is what I want. And the more you dig and the more that you try to pull her back, the more you pull, the more she's going to run. So it's better to just let it go. I think in my divorce, I think the number one thing that I learned from my divorce is how to let go, of things that don't benefit me, things that are not going to be good for me, things that are not good for my spirit, things that are not good for me emotionally. I've learned to let go. And if I see stuff that I don't like, or somebody's in my space and it's negative and it's not the right energy or whatever, I let it go. I don't have any qualms about, I don't care how much money is involved. I don't care who this person is. I don't care nothing about none of that. You're disturbing my peace and my energy, and I am out. I'm done. So I will get up and walk away. That's the way that I am. I will always be that way. So, but that came out of my divorce, understanding that sometimes there's an end to things, and I'd rather just get to the end instead of sitting around, jawing about it or trying to fix it and all that type of stuff. That's just me. That's what I got from this. So, but in the beginning, I kind of wanted to hold on to. I thought maybe I could, talk it out or work it out and all that type of stuff. But when I realized it was over, for me, it was just done. So yeah, so if you're in this situation and you're trying to woo her back and all that stuff, I'm not saying don't do it, but don't expect, if it was her decision to break off the relationship, expect that to be a really difficult road to go down, because once it's somebody's decision to do this, they're not coming back. They've made the decision, and the ego will not allow them to say that they were wrong. That's the other thing that you're fighting with. It may not be even that she don't really like you, but she's gonna have to admit that maybe her feelings were wrong, or the way she expressed herself and emotions that she had that led her to this. She'd have to say that, some of that was wrong. And her ego's never gonna allow her to do that. So you're fighting an uphill battle with that, because people don't like to say that they're wrong, right? They just don't like to be pointed out as being wrong. So let's see, what else do we got here? Let's see, I've got some more stuff here at some level. Let's see, where am I at here? I think I'm in the wrong place here. Okay. Here we go. No, I don't know why I didn't go there, right? Okay, good. All right, cool. So let's see. I won. And this is from Isoprene, posting in the Divorced Men Reddit. Says, it's been a while since I've posted here. Just some background. I've been divorced almost 2 years, and when we got divorced, she used recordings of me she took secretly to use as intimidation tactics to get more custody time. So we got the Wile E. Coyote right here. She also filed CPS cases against me at the time, which were all later not substantiated. I had a variable work schedule with no family support at the time in healthcare, making it further difficult to take them more, and ended up getting the kids every other weekend and one school day a week for 2 hours, something like 30% custody. I got a new job that would allow me to take care of the kids more, and met with a lawyer to fight for more custody time. I now work 6 12s in a row and have 8 days off in a row. Oh, that's kind of a cool schedule. It's hard work, but I love having a life again. So now there's no reason I can't do 50-50 alternating weekends. Her lawyer fought back, and we're headed to trial now. Just a week before that, her lawyer came begging to us to do a mediation, and she settled with everything I was asking for. Wow. My lawyer said she was probably bluffing the whole time and realized they had no case. I just told the kids the news that with my ex at drop-off, and they all jumped and cheered and gave me hugs. I hope that stung like salt in a wound for her. When I first found out I was getting divorced, I thought my life was over. I almost ended my life then and there. I thought everything was hopeless. My ex got remarried 3 months after I got divorced to make things even harder. I didn't give up and found this forum to give me some hope. So we're going to dissect a few things here, right? So one thing is, he's 2 years post-divorce, but there's still some residual stuff going on here, right? So, just because you sign the papers or whatever and you go in front of the judge and it's over with officially, legally, there still might be some things hanging on, especially if you got kids. So how you're dealing with things and how you deal with that lingers, right? You're still going to have to be in that mode, sometimes in fighting mode, because there's things that's going to come up that you got to fight for, right? So I applaud him as a dad fighting for time with his kids, right? Why she would want to take him away from his kids, I don't understand. You can be vindictive if you want to, or you can try to do all these tactics. Like he said, she was secretly taping him and all that type of stuff and trying to put cases on him and all that kind of stuff. And that's really kind of foul. You know what I'm saying? That's really kind of a foul thing to do to somebody. You're really just trying to hurt somebody at that point in time. It doesn't sound like the courts were saying that he was a person that was dangerous for the kids or he's abusive to the kids or anything like that. Sounds like a dad who's concerned about his kids. He's a career man, obviously. He's working. He's taking care of business. So it doesn't sound like he's a drug addict or something like that that's not able to take care of his kids. He's a man that's doing his part to take care of the kids. And she was just trying to be spiteful. And she's using the kids as a pawn to fight against him, which is foul. That on the Big D channel, we don't condone that behavior at all. We don't support that behavior at all. If you're a woman who's doing that, or if you're a man who's doing that, trying to take the kids away from the other partner, that's not fair to them, the kids, and it's not fair to your partner. So don't do that mess. All right. So this man, it looks like he went the extra mile. Like he even got a new job so that he could work a schedule that's going to be kind of tough. He said he's doing 12s, right? Let's see, where was he here? Yeah, so he says he does 6 12s in a row. So 6 days a week, he's working 12 hours, right? And he does that in a row. And then he gets a day off. Then he gets 8 days off. So that's kind of a sweet schedule, like 6 days on, 8 days off. I think that, I think he's in the medical field. That's just what it sounds like to me. He said he's in healthcare or whatever. So that can be a grueling schedule, can be very stressful. But I applaud him for like making that time for his kids and realizing like, hey, I can do things to change my schedule to make sure that I have time for them and I get more time with them, because that time goes by, right? Your kids aren't kids forever. They grow and they change, and before you know it, they're getting a driver's license, and then they graduate in school, and then they off to college or whatever. You lose them really fast. That time goes really fast. So, I'm glad that he's been able to work that out. So any of us that are in that situation, it might be good to kind of work some things out, see how we can work ourselves around to get more time with our kids, because the time with our kids is finite. You're not going to get that back. So he said now they got to go through mediation and all that type of stuff or whatever. He wanted 50-50 alternating weeks or whatever. And it looks like she got what she was, he got what he was asking for, and she kind of had to acquiesce to that, and they know that they can't win the case against him or whatever. So we applaud that here at the Big D Show. Congrats to him. And, we're going to tackle this last part where he's talking about when he found out he was getting divorced, he thought his life was over. So I've been talking about that, right? We've been talking about that in some of the videos. Your life is not over just because some person walks out on you. There's a whole world out here. I've been talking about that. I talked about that when I did the sunset video or whatever in Ipanema or whatever. You guys go watch that. I'm saying there's a whole world out here. There's lots of beauty. There's lots of fun out here. There's experiences. There's things that you would never dream. Beautiful, beautiful things that you would never dream out here in this world. And so your life is not over. Your life might actually just be beginning. And I felt the same way. I didn't feel like my life was over. I just knew that I had the whole rest of my life to rewrite these pages, to write these pages. I thought that I had someone's name written on all of those pages to go do these things with me, but obviously that person's not going to be there. So I'm going to go do the things that I want to do, and I'll find love along the way. I'll find, happiness along the way. I'll find my struggles and my truth along the way. Don't feel like your life is over. Like he said, he almost ended his life then and there, but how that was going to work out for your kids, that's not going to work out for the kids at all. And now he seems like he's in a good place. Had he done that, he wouldn't have experienced getting into this good place and actually winning and getting that time with his kids, right? So, yeah, don't do that. Don't end your life over a divorce. You're just getting rid of extra baggage um, that you can't hold anymore. You can't hold on to it anymore. You can't carry it anymore. It's heavy. It's burdening you down. It's keeping you from flying. Get away from that. Let it go. That's all I can pretty much say on that. But let's get into this from Worn Out '08. How to get X to understand I never want to be with him again. All right, so she's going in right now. So we're going to see what she's talking about. She says, no matter how many times I make it clear to him that I want nothing to do with him, he'll always try asking again after a few weeks or so. It's so draining and I'm tired of dealing with it. When he finally asks and I say no, he'll get mean. Tell me no one will ever want me, love me, etc., and ghost the kids for a week or two. Then he'll come back, apologize, then try again a couple of weeks later. I have never given him hope at all. I told him I don't love him or hate him. I just feel nothing. I just want to do my own thing and co-parent, and that's it. What will help? Well, we're going to give you some help right now. Hopefully he can see this here. If you see it, then you let him know. She don't want you. She don't want you. Okay, I'm gonna say it again because I don't think that you got it. If she don't want you, she does not want you. Now, does it even matter? For the kids, yes, because you want your kids to have their mother and father together. Understand that. But for you and your personal life, you don't have to sweat that at all. There's certain things that you don't want in your life, and you'd hate for them to keep showing back up. How about like a IRS audit? So this auditor keeps showing up all the time to your house, knocking on your door, going to your job and all that kind of stuff, asking you about your back taxes. You pay off your taxes or whatever, and what happens? That person goes away. Do you want them to stay around? No, you would hate for that person to keep coming around, right? You would hate that, right? So you would want them to go away. So this is how she feels, all right? Recognizing that, go away. Go away. So if you're truly a good person, and if you're truly someone that anyone would want to be with, because you're trying to insert yourself into her life at a level that she doesn't want, and if you feel you're good enough for that, why don't you go out and find someone yourself? Find someone else. The world is full of women. I understand you're in love and all this stuff, but there's other women. There's other experiences. There's other dates to go on. There's other excursions to go on. There's other trips to be had. Go find somebody else. Remember what we talked about a little bit earlier in this video. When it's her decision that she doesn't want you anymore, that's going to be pretty solid. She's not going to go back and say, oh, I made a mistake and you're the greatest thing on earth and I'm going to go back with you, because her ego will never allow that, even if that was true. And by the way that this person is acting, I don't feel like he's that dude, right? He's telling her that nobody will ever want her. But I think that's projection. I think he feels like nobody will want him, or he's not having any success getting anyone else, right, that will deal with him seriously. And so he's trying to throw that on her and make her come back with him, because he doesn't have the tools to get out there and find someone himself, right? Telling her that no one will love her or whatever. And then he's taking it out on the kids. Then you don't go see your kids because you can't have her. That doesn't make any sense. Your kids don't have nothing to do with this, right? So that kind of makes me mad, because I'm like, yo, your kids don't have nothing to do with this. Why you don't go see your kids, even if you beefing with her? You can't have her. Let her go. But go see your kids, because you're not going to get that opportunity. They're not going to remember that you and her were fighting, or that you wanted their mom or whatever like that. They're going to remember that you was not there. So that's a serious thing, right? So she says she hasn't given you any hope. She doesn't love you or hate you at this point in time. She just finished. And so let her be finished. Whatever path that she has to go down, it's not for you to decide whether somebody's going to pick her up, love her, and her and your kids and all that kind of stuff or whatever. There's always some dude that's going to come along and be there for somebody. So there's probably going to be a dude that's going to come along or whatever, and she'll be like the best thing since sliced bread for him. She'll be everything he's always been looking for, and maybe it'll be the vice versa for her as well. But you need to go find your path and find the person that's good for you. Don't be trying to downplay her situation or whatever. You shouldn't even be concerned about her situation. You should be working on you and getting somebody else. And if you can't get somebody else, then that means there's work to be done. There's somebody for everybody. Trust me. But if you were on the other side, would you date you? That's the question that you got to ask. What are you bringing to the table for a woman to be interested in you? You got to work on that as a man, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not into like I said, the alpha male stuff and the red pill stuff and all that kind of stuff. I'm just talking on a natural basis. What attracts you? You don't go to a restaurant where you walk in the door and it stinks, right? You don't eat there. So you don't want to be that. You don't want to be the restaurant that stinks. You want to be the restaurant when people are driving by, they can smell the food and they're like, yo, I got to go in there. That's what you want to be. And not everybody's in that position naturally. So you got to do some things to make things work. You either got to get some more money or you got to get, the right situation, the clothes or whatever, work on your personality a little bit, work on your talk game a little bit so that you can get out here and work with somebody who wants to work with you. But stop chasing this woman around because she ain't with it. She don't want you, so you ain't got to want her. And trust me, it will all shake out in the end. We'll find out what it's like in 10 years. You'll find out how she did and you'll find out how you did. And if you really did well, you won't even think about how she did. So stay away from this woman. Leave her alone, man. She's choosing her path. Let her walk her path. It's not up to you to decide what's going to happen on it. And take care of your kids. All right, so this is the Big D Show. I'm going to jump out of here. Glad that you hung out with me today. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe. Peace.
Eyes bright, skin popping, smelling right, luscious lips, dancing as you walk.